Federal High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State, nullified the National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, held in the city between 15 and 16 November 2025. Judge Uche Agomo, who presided over the case, also held that the caretaker committee led by Mohammed Abdulrahman and Samuel Anyang remained the only recognized national working committee of the PDP, pending the conduct of a valid national convention. The court held that the convention was conducted in disobedience to two subsisting judgments of the same court. I still have me, Bolanle, right here, and of course, Ibrahim. Now, Bolanle, very quickly, does this judgment expose deeper constitutional flaws within the PDP's internal processes?
It does.
Okay.
It does expose flaws. It does expose the, non-adherence to the rule of law and judicial orders. There are two factions in the PDP, as we know. One faction led by a federal minister, one faction led by a serving governor of Oyo State. Two conventions. One convention was held in Oyo, despite the order of a court that convention should not be held. And national officers were elected at that convention. So the crisis has more or less deepened, but the courts have stepped in to more or less provide a leeway for the unity of the PDP, in the sense that if the convention that produced those officers in Ibadan has been nullified by the court and they subject themselves to another process, it might be the basis for the two factions to share offices within the PDP, unite the PDP, rather than continue this struggle for the life and the soul of the party, at the national level. So what it can do also is to make or create the opportunity for those who are disenchanted with the PDP to move away from the PDP totally and seek another platform.
All right. Now, Ibrahim, quickly, what does this ruling mean for the legitimacy of the PDP's current national leadership?
See, Mark, for too long, the PDP has been in the intensive care unit, if I may use that word, because most times, each time they want to revive their fortunes, they end up in the court. And you know what happened the other time in Abuja at the headquarters of the party? Bala Mohammed, governor of Bauchi State, invaded the secretariat, took it by force, and they ended up in the court. And the court has now ruled. What is next for PDP? Like Bolanle said, you see, it's for them to begin to align quickly. Otherwise, they'll find out none of them have the platform to run for the next election. So I believe Wike is pulling it, and Bala is, all of them are pulling, the party, and the party has been torn into shreds, Mark. So I think the only way out for me, if my opinion will count, is the earlier they align either with the APC or the newly formed ADC, the better for them. Otherwise, they wake up one day, the PDP is just like an empty compound. There's no one inside, Mark.
Thank you very much. Now, Bolanle, when situations like this occur, questions begin to spiral everywhere. Who bears responsibility for the legal missteps that led to this outcome?
All of the political actors, pure and simple, because they should have adhered to their own constitution. They should have adhered to the judicial process, the rule of law, and they ought to have been able to strike a balance between their own personal political interests and the interests of the members and indeed the nation. So I think most of the blame, because it's a different thing if there are two conflicting court orders and, two conventions were held, and that creates a situation of both a legal, judicial crisis and a political, type of crisis. But in this case, it appears one convention was held despite court orders. There was no second convention, and the idea that a court order would be flagrantly disobeyed, led to this situation, from the political class.
Having said that,
yes.
Now, they did not adhere to the court rules, and they still went ahead to hold that convention. Yes. Does this reflect the kind of leadership we have come to inherit in Nigeria? And should we be worried? Because you are outrightly, disputing court order, and you're saying like it's nothing, and you're going ahead to do what you have to do. And these are the leaders that are holding power in the country. Should we be worried?
We should be worried because we copied the American system, American federal presidential system of government.
Right.
The system that says that the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature are co-equal branches which will serve as a check and balance on each other. The legislature makes laws as a National Assembly, the executive carries out the laws, and the judiciary resolves disputes and interprets the law as per the Constitution and the acts of, of the federal government. So when the executive arm, which is peopled by this class of politicians, cherry picks what orders, rulings, and judgments, to obey or not to obey, it's against the spirit of the Constitution. It weakens our judicial institutions. It weakens our political system. It weakens the constitution of the country. And it gives the impression that a branch of government is actually above the law, which ought not to be.
Ibrahim, before we go to our next conversation looking at the body language of our politicians, is an appeal likely, and would it help, or further prolong uncertainty?
Mark, if we look at the situation in PDP now, they are the architect of their own misfortune right from the beginning. By allowing Wike to work with this government in APC, and Wike also still control PDP from the center. Remember, it's at the center here in Abuja, under the watchful eyes of Nyesom Wike. That is one of their mistakes. And it's becoming difficult for them to reconcile because they have not referred to the initial agreement they had during the last election that this power must move to the south. Is one major factor there. And at the same time, regrouping, going back to the court, when ordinarily they should have resolved these matters within them at the party secretariat, worsen the situation. But again, take it or leave it. These are some of the strategies deployed by the APC, is to weaken your opposition, because this is politics. You wouldn't allow your opposition to wake up from slumber, because if they wake up, they'll fight back. So I think I will commend the guys, the politicians in APC. They are perfecting their strategies on a daily basis, and that is why the oppositions continue to go into limbo. They continue to struggle. They continue to remain in the court. How long will it take for this case to be decided in the court of law? It's too late now, because daggers have been drawn on both sides. Wike is pulling it. Sheyi Makinde and others, they are pulling the party apart. And again, they are about to appeal the rulings of the court. How long will it take? So Mark has said, like I said earlier on, it's a walkover for APC in 2027. They should just start thinking of what next to do at the next election, whether they win or not, I don't know. How it will work out for